Hello, welcome to the Blair on the Air podcast. I am your host, Daniel Blair, and I'm joined today with a marvelous musician, one of our teachers here, Madeline Lugo. How's it going, Madeline?
It's going great.
Nice, cool. Now, Madeline has a secret weapon, and this secret weapon is endless patience and ideas and a desire to work with small children. And many of you parents have small children. I love working with small children. But I feel like the Academy was raised to an entirely new level with Madeline. And now she does all of our mini musician stuff too, which is crazy. So Madeline, how do you approach these little kids? First of all I hear you say is that they're adorable.
Yeah, I would say for the most part, every single kid that walks in for lessons is pretty adorable. And they also have their own personalities, and it's fun to kind of like unpack when they first come in.
When you have, so you play a lot of instruments. You play violin, piano, cello, probably a lot of other things. You do some guitar, I know.
Very minimal, but yes.
But primarily you teach violin.
Yes.
Yeah, so violin's kind of a complicated instrument.
Right.
And we're actually going to interview one of your students here in a minute, just a little bit.
Yeah.
So when you're doing something complicated with a little kid, so it's a kid that's like questionable attention span, but also difficult instrument, what's one of the first things, boxes you want to check with a new student?
Well, just making sure that we're a good fit for each other, and getting to know their personalities for sure is a big part of teaching them, because I feel like knowing the kid is going to be the best way to start friendship. I think that would be my first thing.
What are some contrasting personalities that you find within kids?
Very, very, very quiet, very shy. Doesn't really like to say anything first lesson, and they start warming up. And then the opposite would be totally off the walls, drawing on the dry erase board all the time, asking millions of questions. So
you're totally okay if you have your entire first lesson, the kid says 2 words, you're not worried?
Oh yeah, I know they'll warm up. Nice. Hopefully, yeah. And then, yeah. And
you teach in Revell, which is a super cool room. It's very vibrant. We just added a red piano in there.
Yeah, the colors are very stimulating.
I actually see some of the students that are not your students on off hours.
Yes.
They come in, they check out the red piano. Who are we going to be talking to?
We'll be talking to one of my students. Her name is Emma Vassell.
How old would you say she is?
Oh, I feel like this reflects really badly.
Oh, okay. Forget I asked. Don't even answer. I think she's older. She's so poised that it's tough.
I thought so too, but no, she's younger than I thought she was for the longest time.
Cool. Well, she's gonna be coming in just a second. There she is. You may recognize Emma from our Blair on the Air TV show that we did during COVID. Hello, Emma.
Hi.
How's it going? Thank you for bringing your violin. Do you want to set it on the table? People can get a good look.
Nice and gentle.
We're going to go maybe over the parts of it and what strings they are.
Okay.
Awesome. So thank you for donating some of your lesson time and stepping in here. And we were just talking about the Christmas recitals. So my question for you is, you've done a few recitals now.
Yeah.
And we've filmed you. What is different about the Christmas recital than a regular recital? Is it more exciting? Do you like playing music people know? Is it more difficult? Or?
I don't know. The different things are usually during the Christmas time it's more fancy, and even if the people play easier Christmas songs, it still sounds really pretty.
Yeah. And then the audience knows it and stuff too. So some of the recitals we had, it was just packed, front to back, millions of people. And then some of them were not as full. Was yours pretty full, or was it not quite as full?
I'd say it was pretty full.
You can hear the audience?
Yeah. When
the lights are on, can you see faces very well, or is it kind of just bright lights at that point?
When the lights are on, you can see the people, but it's kind of in the middle.
You know that they're there, but maybe not their facial expressions?
Yeah.
Does that make it more intimidating, or does it make you kind of feel like you can just get in your zone?
I just feel like I can get in my zone.
That's what I think too. I like the bright lights. There's some bright lights there. I feel like they're my friend because Then it's less distractions.
Yeah.
Cool. So, is this your primary instrument? Is this the main thing that you play?
Yes.
I know you have siblings that play other things and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever played around with the piano or guitar and stuff?
I played a lot with the piano and Ava's ukulele. My sister's ukulele.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Madeline has some cool ukulele skills. Madeline, what would be some cool questions for Emma, maybe relating to talking to a brand new beginner that's never studied violin before?
Okay, so let's pretend that you're the teacher and they walk into their first lesson. What is a one tip that you would give them from your years of experience playing the violin? They're brand new, they're touching the instrument for the first time. What's something that you would tell them?
Probably just to play around with it for a little bit and try to figure out
like get used to the sounds.
Yeah.
And don't stop playing it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Put in some time. I think that's what Miss Ivy said. We had asked her for some tips. And oh no, it was Mason. He's like, spend time getting to know your instrument. He was talking about the voice though, because he sings a lot. Do you ever sing? I don't know that I've heard you sing.
No.
There's sometimes like I'll try to make her sing in lessons and it won't ever happen, will it?
Everyone can. They can. I know you can. I was the exact same way though. So let's teach some people some parts of the violin. Okay. I always tell people that it's kind of like a little human, like an alien human shape. But what is like this part of the violin called?
The neck.
The neck, and your hand spends a lot of time there. And then we have these tapes on here. What do they tell you?
They help you know where your fingers are supposed to go when you play.
Yeah. Do your fingers always go on the tapes?
No, sometimes they can go in between the tapes.
Yeah. And like, I don't know if you can see that. The violin is not a fretted instrument like a guitar, so you can slide your fingers, which makes it really fun for expressive things, but it's also really hard to know where to put your fingers. So these little tapes help give us a starting point. How many strings does a violin have?
4.
And what are their names?
There's G.
I know, I'm putting you on the spot. How about little baby?
E. A. B.
That's very close.
D.
D. Yeah, you got it. I tell the little tiny kids, I'm like, grandpa string, daddy string.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's actually
But then I get to the mommy string, and it's like, there's nothing A. It's like G for grandpa, D for daddy, A,
aunt,
mommy, and the little baby E string. Nice. That's super cool. Now, the string family has 4 instruments. There's the big old bass, the cello, which you play sitting down, and then the viola, slightly bigger than this, and then the violin. The violin's the highest. Okay, how do we make a sound come out of this? What do we use?
You use the bow.
Yes, you want to grab that bow and show us what a really good bow hold looks like? More putting you on the spot. That is awesome. Cool. So I'm going to try this. And the interesting part is our hands aren't the same size, but our bow holds are actually very similar. So if you rattle your hand, it puts it in a relaxed position. And you did an awesome job of that because you're not like a claw and you're also not like in a fist.
With a lot of my students, I'll have them like drop their hand all the way down and just bring it up like they're going to throw a ball. And that's your natural
that's pretty
hand
cool.
position too.
I like that. That's better
relaxed.
than like the violent slinging.
Yeah, the
of it.
violent
Just go ahead and
shaking.
relax by shaking. What are some things that Madeline tends to say to you a lot as a
no.
teacher? What are her
I'm
catchphrases?
actually really curious to hear this.
Yeah.
What are you giving?
She.
What will she remind you? What's your last piece that you played? What did you play for the Christmas recital?
I played Deck the Halls.
Oh, nice. I actually remember I was running sound for a lot of it, but I ran to the back to hear you, and your sound filled the room very nicely. So if you're playing Deck the Halls for you, or for Madeline, and she is giving you tips, what is she likely to encourage you to do?
If I'm doing like short little bows, then she'll probably say to do longer bows for it, or else it won't sound as good.
Yeah, I feel like you're almost known for awesome bow usage, though. So I guess I owe that to Madeline, too.
Well, she also picks up pretty fast on like using expressive long bows. So
One of my students gave me a coffee mug like just a couple days ago, and it says like Daniel has a little violin, and it says in between sips, please use more bow.
oh, that's awesome.
I know. It's like your lungs. You wouldn't want to sing. Well, you wouldn't want to sing anyway. Do you remember back in the day when we did Blair on the air? Do you remember what you played?
Was it Ashoka Farewell?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. That's cool. Well, how was that different playing in front of a camera, or actually a few cameras, versus playing in front of people? Did it feel different or the same?
It felt different, but surprisingly, it felt better playing in front of people instead of the camera.
Really?
Yes.
I feel like I would identify with that too.
Yeah, because it's like a little robot that's staring at you and judging you. I like the camera sometimes because in a worst case scenario, it's like you kind of get a redo.
Yeah.
But then for perfectionists, like this, she's very perfectionist. If you listen back to the recordings, you're going to want to keep taking over and over and over
That's
again.
true.
So you also...
I like to commit to your first recording going all the way through, and then if you want to try some things. All right, last things, and we'll let you guys actually have your lesson today. Madeline,
Yes.
what would you say is Emma's like superpower as a musician? What should she hold on to because she's really good at it? Could be a trait or a skill.
Skill for sure is expressive playing. She probably has the most intuitive sense of like knowing character changes and dynamic stuff. So we've been working really hard on that, and she's done a really good job with that.
That's helpful.
Yeah.
That usually doesn't come until like high school. How old are you right now?
9.
9?
Yeah.
Wow. I was telling Madeline, I legitimately thought you were older because you're very poised and responsible. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Is 9 a good age? Is 9 better than 8?
Yes.
Are you looking forward to 10?
Yes.
Nice. Okay. So it's just still on the uphill slope. Then eventually you'll drive. I know. It's going to be crazy. Awesome. And then what is something that has been a challenge for you with violin that might frustrate you every once in a while? Because we all have.
Third position.
Third position? Nice. So first position is what? Can you explain it?
It's just like putting your fingers on where the tapes are. Like just
Yeah. Nice. And then what's the difference in that and third position?
third position, you have to move your first finger where you usually goes here, you have to move it down to the third tape.
Yeah.
And then keep playing.
Yeah, so you kind of leave some of those, and then you probably know this, but I'll explain it to other people. As you come up the violin, so you're doing a shortening the string by putting your finger down, right? And so as it moves up here, it's almost like you're playing an even tinier violin. So all the fingers become closer together, and it's easier to kind of play out of tune because there's not much margin for error. Whereas down here, the one is going to be more forgiving than up here. But still, third position, that's a big deal. Good job, Madeline. Good job, Emma. So now the next recital, I'm going to be like watching for some. Do you think you'll have third position in a piece in your next recital?
Yeah, we should at least have some third position. I was trying to get her to do that in this past recital, but it was like...
Is it hurdy-gurdy that has some good third position? There's a few things in RCM like 2 and 3 that they give you a chance to hop. That's awesome. Yeah. Sweet. Awesome. Well, thanks for sitting down with us. I'm going to let you go to your lesson. Pop quiz, since it's the Christmas season. What is one of your favorite Christmas songs? To listen to or to play?
I really like We Wish You a Merry Christmas.
Oh, nice.
Why,
just like a happy one?
Yeah.
What do you think, Madeline? What's one of your favorites?
For me, I like jazzy Christmas stuff. Probably Jingle Bell Rock.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Awesome, cool. Hey, thanks for listening in. We will be back to interview some more students. This is Emma Neckvassil, a very talented violinist, and her teacher, Miss Madeline Lamb. I'm here with my mother, the ever-famous music teacher, Miss Ivy Blair, and bonus surprise, Miss Nadine, who has had several students with us. We snagged her for a quick little interview on what music lessons is like from the parent's perspective, which hopefully will be interesting. I have not gone through this journey yet. Mom went through it with several kids.
6 times.
6 children. I have 2 kids. They're tiny. How many kids do you guys have?
I have 4 children.
Nice. I know the violinist really well. What other instruments are the other ones partial to, either formally or just for fun?
Piano. We have 1 violinist and 3 that play the piano.
Emma did mention a ukulele. That's fun.
That is true.
I don't know if that counts.
That is what brought our youngest here, was the mini musicians class, and she really wanted to take ukulele, but it wasn't officially
really?
offered, so they said,
I didn't know you guys were in mini musicians.
yes, that is
Nice.
how
Who was
Ava got
teaching
started.
it?
Madeline, who
Oh.
teaches violin for
Nice.
Emma.
Mini Musicians is kind of a feeder program for when we want to get to know kids, and it's really fun. So far more fun than perhaps vocalizing for long periods of time with the voice students. Oh, that's cool. Madeline is opening more mini musician slots right now. In fact, I think they're going to be in here with like a bigger room, and they're going to play big games. That's pretty awesome. So that's how you found us to begin with?
Yes, that's how.
Nice.
Well, actually, we found you for Emma playing violin, and then Ava was so interested in the music and rhythm, and she'd come to the lessons, and so it was mentioned, I think, maybe by Ivy, that it might be a good idea to get her involved in the mini musicians.
That's pretty awesome. So I think these are recurring questions that we'll probably ask parents. Did you study music as a child?
Minimally.
Okay.
Yes, I do. Okay.
I'm not going to make you play.
No,
or
piano a
didn't-
couple years. I would not say that was my go-to thing. I sang for all through middle school, high school, traveled in a choir,
Oh, that's
and
cool.
played the trumpet all through middle school, high school.
In like the school band?
School
type thing?
band.
Oh, cool.
And did some traveling with that.
So you like can read music and play an ensemble and stuff like that?
yes, but I do not would not step into any.
Okay, I got, as we're hiring.
Yeah, no.
Does that help you with your kids? Do you think that gives you if you knew absolutely nothing, would it be harder to help them at home?
It
or?
would be much harder to help them at home for me. But
Yeah.
that doesn't mean
Well-
impossible, but I have found it very helpful.
Are you pretty involved in their, are you like an accountability keeper, or do you sit down and like practice with them?
A little bit of both. Emma's taken ownership of the violin at this point. At the beginning, it was very much making sure she was doing
Yeah,
what was
a thing.
told. Yes, exactly. But she's beyond, like violin, I don't know violin at all. So aside from her needing help with reading her music or what does this note sound like, I can do that on the piano for her. But
Will will they look to you for guidance? Because sometimes parents know stuff, but the kids are like, I don't know, I'm going to ask my teacher. Will they accept an answer that you give at
They
home?
will definitely accept. Emma wants to please Madeline. She wants to come in prepared. Yes, and it's nothing that Madeline has a pressure Madeline has put.
Yeah.
She's so sweet that Emma wants to come prepared for
I
her.
should try that.
Yeah,
Being sweet?
Yeah.
and encouraging. So yes, she'll accept it. She'll also, and I appreciate this from Madeline, if there's something I'm not capable of helping, Madeline is like, you can text me. And she's even sent in recordings of her playing
Oh, nice.
the violin so that we can watch the form or whatever technique that I'm like, I wasn't in that lesson.
I've told
So-
that to a few people. Like, it is not frequently that parents will reach out during the week, even though
That's true.
I mean, I do, Mom does, I know Madeline does. I'm like, if you don't understand anything, like, let me know. Like, I want them to get better, but I would say 1 to 2 parents a month actually reach out.
Right, I have the same thing.
But the ones that do, they're like, I should have reached out sooner. Sometimes parents ask more difficult questions. They're just like, hey, can you record this and then scan it and send it to me?
Yeah, yes.
I'm like, oh no.
That's a lot of pressure.
Yeah, puts me right on the spot. Do you sit in on the lessons of your girls?
I sat in with Emma until, for us, it's a blessing. They're able to take lessons at the same time. So Ava, our youngest.
That's some
takes
wizardry
mine.
right there.
Yes. But I sit in with her because I don't think she would remember what needs to be practiced at home.
Yeah.
And Emma's capable of that at this point. So
Nice. What are some like traits that you look for when you're meeting a new family? So let's say you're sitting down with them and their family and they come in. What are signs that's like, hey, these are going to be really good people. I think they're going to be a good fit for us.
I look at the relationship of the kids. If the kids are kind of like out of control and the parents don't care, or the parents are just letting them do what they do, that's probably not going to be a strong parent at home. helping them get their things done. If the parents are talking to them and they're very indulging, do you want to take the piano? Do you want to play this? That's also not a really strong parental.
I actually see a lot of that too.
Yeah. So I really don't even look for a parent to have musical background, though that's very helpful.
Yeah.
But I just tell them, sit with them, encourage them, be there. If you can't sit with them, have a time where they can do a little concert for you every week. Just be there for them and encourage them like you would at a ball game.
Have you guys done little concerts at home or little mini?
Oh, goodness. Our kids perform all the time.
Yes!
Every family member that comes hears all of them.
That is the secret sauce.
It's funny.
We accept all people. I always like to say that, like, it's almost scary if you meet a parent that is just a pleasure to talk to and you like haven't met the kid yet and the kid like might not want to be there yet and you're kind of just trying to plant seeds and be like, do they like this? Or a kid that's all about learning and then a parent that just has a lot of life on their plate right now and you're like, it's up to you, Johnny. It's just me and you. And then sometimes they align with like parent and students. Like the student really enjoys the instrument and they're okay with a little bit of struggle. And then the parent is okay to maybe not reevaluate the direction of lessons on a weekly basis. It's like, this is hard. Can we do a different song?
But most parents, in my experience, if the child is not practicing or if they're not progressing, if we connect with the parents and say, we've worked it out with the kids, this is their schedule, this is where we think we can fit in practice, this is where we think we can align them, we can figure out this technique for bringing their books. The parents are pretty much aligned with that. If you communicate with them, they're really great to come in. Like
the age 11, 12, sometimes 13 is when the kids will start going, I don't have my violin today. Mom didn't put it in the car.
That's right. And the parents are trying to teach them responsibilities.
Which is super valid, but it's kind of funny at times. So when we sit down with people, I don't know if we had this structure when you got started, but for a few years we've had it pretty locked down. We have this little piece of paper. We show people. Most families fit in one of three categories of kind of priority in their life. One is music as an experience. It's just a general exposure to the arts. Many Musicians is a good example of that. And we don't really crack the whip on what you're doing at home. It's more just, can I capture this little kid's attention, show them a good time? The middle is like, we are going to treat it like a school subject. It's not all that we do, but we're paying money, we're investing time, and we're okay with like regular practice goals and like expectations. And then kind of the quality or the representation of our school in general are the handful of crazy people who it's like music is the highest priority in their life. They'll show up to mom at like 6:15 or whatever in the morning. They'll come 2-3 times a week with lessons with her, and then they practice like crazy, they audition like crazy. That can't be everybody. It'd be kind of cool as a teacher, that's fun, but you burn the other ones out when you expect everyone to be there. Do you feel like, one, what kind of category do you guys fit in, and has it changed since you've got started, either up or down?
I'd say, that's a good question. It has definitely fluctuated at different points. I'd say we're probably in that middle category where it's considered the subject they practice every day, but they're not at like we hope to be at the
sometimes that happens category. Like in high school,
that's what's
sometimes it goes dormant and it comes out. It's not a big deal, but if mom and kid and teacher are all on the same page, life is way easier. Way 100%. Easier.
One of our violinists, her goal in life is to be a violin teacher. So
fill out an application.
I know.
We will accept her.
That's been 2 years now, so that's not changed.
That's good.
So she's very driven. Our student takes with Miss Ivy. She is 7, and so it fluctuates.
Well, she's 7.
Yeah, but she's.
I was just getting started at 7.
Yes, she's currently all in because she's loving her song. And I feel like you've been so flexible in reading her and adjusting to her, because there have been times where she's like, I'm done.
Well, with the younger children, if I'm not careful, I have to watch out for burnout. Because we'll drive into some, like she did a recital where she memorized 10 pieces. And after that, she was spent.
Oh, the Littles one? You guys were in that?
Yes.
Yeah.
And
was
so
awesome.
all of those students actually, because they were all 5 and 6.
Was that cool to see that? So that we've just started doing those category things. We did an adults only, like adult students only. And then we also did like the Littles only. Was that cool to see
It's
the other
cool.
ones?
It is so fun. And even to see the progression, because you did a year ago, and then again this year, to see us getting the opportunity to watch those other little kids that we don't get to see grow.
Yeah.
And their
Awesome.
camaraderie is awesome because they're so excited to be with each other.
And they're recognizing people. So she had not seen another student for a year, really, because we don't cross
Yeah.
paths. And she went right up and asking questions. It's fun.
That's awesome.
It's super fun.
All you need with those little groups is like one of them to do like one cool thing, and it like inspires everyone else.
Yes.
It's pretty cool. That makes me happy. I didn't realize that she was one of the ones that were doing that. And then we'll kind of wrap this up. But what do you like about modern or whatever music lessons? Because we have a strong classical foundation and stuff, but we do try to be a little more creative in showing them a good time or having a few summer camps that you like for your girls that maybe you didn't have when you took the couple years of piano.
I think it's just super beneficial because it keeps them interested. They can get a little, just almost too comfortable playing those classical pieces where it's so structured. I think it stretches them, one, and it develops an ear that they may not have. If
Develops their motor skills.
Their
a lot,
motor
too.
skills.
Yeah.
And
Well, when Ava burnt out that first year, I put her on the
Was she always
da
with you?
da 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 da.
Oh yeah, just
Oh,
to kind of the
goodness,
little
yes.
heart and soul.
Yeah,
thing.
heart and soul,
Yes.
and she was on that for about a month.
oh, she had so much
She
fun.
loved it, just improvising on it and stretching it out and
Well,
turning
we
it
were
minor. And
talking about the other day the difference in like a plateau and like burnout because they are kind of different. That's pretty
Definitely.
interesting. Now I wish I taught more tiny kids. I could do it. Yeah, that's pretty awesome. So there is some that you made me think of it when you talked about her wanting to be a teacher. We're starting a program next year where as the kids advance, they'll kind of be assigned someone to kind of encourage, like a big brother, big sister type thing. So then at either ensemble, maybe they'd come to the one below them and like help out and stuff like that. So we kind of want to see what kids have that potential, because actually even just talking to Emma, she was able to explain things to like about her instrument. So it's kind of like you hear it, you do it, you teach it.
teach it,
So we
100%.
really want to try that out. But I don't hear a lot of kids like openly saying they want to be teaching their instrument right away. So that's awesome.
Well, Ava would probably love teaching.
Probably.
Never in a bajillion years could you guess that I would be teaching from like my whole life. Though.
absolutely
So
not.
we try not to prejudge the students too much.
That's right.
Yes, yes.
Because I was perform, be a giant grump, be a pain to deal
Right.
with, perform again.
Well, the first time he taught, the little girls would cry. He said, "Mom, I can't stand this."
I remember this family too. But it was also like Mom was teaching out of her house, and then it was like some siblings that were interested in violin, and they'd come upstairs, and I would like teach in my sister's room, and so it did not feel teachy.
Yeah,
I was in my
professional.
house,
Yes.
which is okay, but I was like younger in my house.
That makes sense.
I didn't try to make them cry.
I know.
I successfully did it. That's pretty awesome. Awesome. Well, thanks for sitting down. I want you to just guess what Emma said. What is her favorite between a normal recital, a Christmas recital, and when we did the Blair on the Air filming? Do you think you know what she thought was the most intimidating versus...
The most intimidating, I wouldn't say usually, but this time the Christmas recital.
Really?
That's right.
She plays so well.
There were a lot of factors playing into that.
Yeah, Madeline wasn't here for that
Madeline,
one
her
too.
teacher wasn't here,
Yeah.
and she,
How was it after?
great. she enjoyed it. It's so much fun.
Yeah,
And it helped
spoke
that
very
the person
confidently
who
about
filled
it.
in for her communicated really well before they played. They'd never
Yeah.
practiced together, which was just a
Oh,
struggle
that
for
was
her.
Fatma.
Fatma played with her?
No, didn't play, but
Oh, Becca did. Fatma got her
Becca.
violin out and tuned it. And
And just talk to her like, this is when you come in, this is what we're doing. And it's just helpful to know.
that's awesome.
I think she liked Blair in the Air. She thought that was so much fun.
Yeah. She said it was more intimidating. She did like it. She said it was more intimidating to play for a camera than for live people.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's fun.
And Madeline was like, I agree. So I don't know how much is rubbing off of there. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for sitting down. Do you have any questions for us? Ooh, any juicy tidbits?
I don't think I have anything.
We had a little series of practice tips at home. So she's like intermediate. What was our tips for intermediates? An intermediate musician, what was a good tip
that was
for them?
Mason's tip.
Oh, it was like explore your instrument
Yes,
a
explore
lot.
your
Spend a lot of
instrument.
time getting to know it. Mom's was for advanced and mine was for beginners.
Okay.
Yeah. I would say for violinists in an intermediate stage, is just give yourself permission to be an actual musician. You can start to turn off student mode a little bit and go evaluate how it sounds just on a blank artist level. Start thinking of yourself as ability to create music, and you can get out of the student box a little bit. Because now she's like shifting. She'll probably be doing some vibrato and stuff. Yeah. And also you can read stuff on your own. You don't have to do what your teacher gives you, and then you can also go explore
right.
like
Yeah,
crazy. You can go buy. Mom bought me all sorts of books, and we would introduce stuff to our teachers.
Are you serious?
Yeah, all the time.
Yeah.
That's great.
It didn't affect my assignments, but it was pretty cool.
That is awesome.
Nice. Well, thank you so much for sitting down. We will be back with more parents and more students and more teachers.